Brought to you by Tailored Wealth, helping business leaders live their version of a rich life.
Welcome to another edition of the Making Sense of Your Money podcast, where we cut through the financial noise and help business leaders to make smart, confident money decisions. Welcome to episode number 15 of the Making Sense of Your Money podcast. I am your host, Dan Pascone. I am the founder and CEO of Tailored Wealth, and each of our episodes features a trusted voice in the financial world, someone who works directly with high-level professionals to simplify the complex and turn strategy into action. And I'm super excited about today's guest. We've got a really unique conversation for you today. Really excited to welcome in Nate Astle. Nate is the founder of the Financial Therapy Clinical Institute. So Nate is actually a financial therapist, which I was telling him earlier. I don't know that I've ever even met a financial therapist, being in financial services my entire career. So thanks so much for joining me on Making Sense of Your Money podcast. We're excited to have you today, Nate.
Thanks so much. I'm excited to be here.
All right, very cool, very cool. So we got a lot to cover, and I know our audience wants to hear your expert take. I want to hear your expert take on some key topics. So let's jump right in. And if you don't mind, just provide us like a 90-second overview of who you are, how you got into what you do, and then what you do as a business.
Yeah, so I'm Nate Astle, financial therapist. I've been doing financial therapy for about 8 years now. Financial therapy, what that means is I work with the psychological, emotional, and relational aspects of money. So my background's in couples and family therapy. I'm a mental health therapist by training, but I've always focused on money stuff. I was very lucky to find financial therapy early in my career. I think something that we often forget about money is it's not as much as we wish it was a quantitative kind of thing. Our actual decision making around money is incredibly emotional. It's inherently emotional. One of my things that I say to people is, you've never had an unemotional money experience. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a big money experience, like getting that promotion at work, or starting your business or whatever, or even just, do I spend money on the candy bar in the checkout aisle? Like, all of them pull on your emotional state, and we need to work with our emotional state to make better money decisions.
Yeah, that's very cool. I couldn't agree more. I mean, we all inherently know there's emotions involved in money, but you're right. I mean, it can be really taxing to think about all of those decisions, from the big ones to the small ones. So I can see why your industry and your position is super, super valuable. So tell us maybe like a little bit about like what types of clients that you deal with on this side, and ultimately what you help them to accomplish.
Yeah, well, I have a pretty broad range. I work with anyone in their teens up until their 70s. I tend to work with people who are struggling in a few areas. One is I do a lot of work with couples. I mean, a couples therapist, that's what I've specialized in for a long time. But couples with financial conflict or feel like they can't get on the same page. I also work quite a bit with folks with financial trauma. So these are people who have gone through difficult money experiences, or just gone through difficult experiences in life, but it's showing up in their money. It's showing up in their anxiety around money, or showing up in the way that they make financial decisions. So that kind of deep work. And then I do quite a bit of work too around just people trying to change financial behavior. Maybe you're an impulse shopper, maybe you struggle to save, or I just can't figure out where my money is going, kind of thing. Usually, in my experience, people have financial solutions to emotional problems. And so we have to kind of figure out what are the emotional problems that you're trying to fix with X money behavior.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me. I want to peel back the onion on that a little bit more. Are you typically engaging with someone, Nate, because they have other issues and then like the financial side comes out of it? Or do they specifically come to you to help them to solve some of those financial challenges that you referenced?
Anymore, people are coming to me specifically for the financial stuff. As my career has grown and I'm more well known in the financial therapy community, people come to me for financial therapy. but it's not where I got started. I was just your run-of-the-mill couples and family therapist. But like I said, finances was always interesting to me,
Yeah.
but it wasn't until I was doing my own therapy, going to see my own therapist, working on my own stuff that I realized, I guess, on a deeper level, just how personal this is. And not just for me, but for everybody. Like, money isn't like it impacts every aspect of our lives. The way we grew up around money, the way our parents taught about or talked about money, the way we feel. Like, these are deep things. I think sometimes we miss that when we talk about financial literacy or talk about like how do we become our best financial selves. It's like, well, part of becoming your best financial self is becoming your best emotional self, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah, that's really well said. So I want to dig into that a little bit deeper. Can you maybe share with us some of like the biggest challenges that your clients face? And I don't necessarily mean, overspender or they're in debt or whatever the case may be, but like at a deeper level, what are the challenges? And then anything you can do to share how you help your clients to overcome those challenges.
The two biggest emotions I see around money is fear and shame.
Okay.
Fear can look like a lot of things. I'm afraid of my money running out. I'm afraid of a whole lot of things. And when it comes to managing money fear, a lot of it is reminding yourself you have more than one option. A really common experience with fear is we get tunnel vision. And so it's like, okay, the only way I can be safe or the only way that I can get my needs met is if these dominoes all line up. The thing is, that's not true most of the time. We have more options than we sometimes can perceive. And if we can expand our tunnel vision a little bit and help us see, oh, I could go that way, or I could go this way, or I could go this way, it reduces the psychological stress. The other thing is, like I said, is fear and shame. Shame is a huge one. We put a lot of meaning making into money, what it means about us. And when we're experiencing shame around money, it feels like we're a failure or we over-identify with our money. Like, having a lot of money makes us a good person or a good provider or a good XYZ. And one of the things that I do a lot of work on is helping people learn to de-identify with their money. Okay, money is something you have and maybe need to work through or maybe need to change something about, but it's not who you are. You're a whole bunch of things besides your money. And let's kind of tease apart, all right, where's the shame coming from? Is that shame useful or true? And I promise you it isn't. How can we have a healthier self-concept that helps us make financial decisions, but from a place of our own values rather than a place of our own insecurities or fears?
That's really, really powerful. That's really, I love your quote around money is something that you have, not something that you are. I'm going to use that if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
I'll give you proper credit, I promise. Nate, let's talk a little bit. I'm fascinated by your industry because, frankly, it's one that I didn't know a whole lot about. Tell us a little bit about the financial therapy industry and, like, maybe how it's evolved since you got into the space. And yeah, just educate us on, what that's all about.
Yeah. Financial therapy is relatively new
Okay.
compared to something like traditional financial planning or mental health. I would say it really started after the 2008 crash,
Yep.
where it was essentially a conference of a bunch of mental health practitioners and financial planners like, hey, we're seeing the same issues. What do we want to do about it? So the Financial Therapy Association, which is the, I guess, governing body, got started around 2009, and it's been growing slowly ever since. I really got started around 2017, 2018, um, when I was in school, and I was very lucky to work with very smart people in professors and some of the people who essentially created the field. But since then, there's the certification, the Certified Financial Therapist designation. It's a bunch of trainings. I put trainings out. There are books. Like, it's a field that is growing a lot, and I think it's cool because, like you said, all of us kind of know that there's this emotional component around money, but I feel like a lot of people, one, don't know where to go to get help with that. And two, there's a lot of professionals that want to be supportive in that area, but don't know how. And that's kind of what financial therapy is here to solve.
Very cool. Very cool. It makes a lot of sense that it sort of like blossomed and really started to gain traction after the financial and credit crisis. That makes a lot of sense to me. Where do you see the industry going? Do you see it, and is it predominantly one-to-one work? Is it done through financial education and literacy and content? Where do you see your industry today, and then maybe where do you see it going, and how do you plan to be a part of that?
Yeah, I'm biased here, but obviously I think it's the future.
Yeah.
I think in my experience, financial planners, the benefit or the what they bring to the table is changing. More robo advisors, the more fintech options there are, the big AI thing, like I think being good at math and being good at projections won't be enough to justify the work in the future. I think what financial therapy to me represents is how can we take financial care and financial healing and make that more a part of the experience of going to a financial planner. I also think for people more on my side of the aisle of mental health and therapists, I think this is something that therapists will continue to need to get specialized training in. Just the same way, you can be a couples therapist, but you can get specialized training in sex therapy. And it's different and there's additional stuff. I think it's important that we have additional training in financial therapy because it's a huge predictor of divorce, financial stress. It's just there's this a very semi-famous survey that gets put out by the American Psychological Association every year about stressors in America. And there's things like political unrest, there's things like a lot of different factors. Ever since it came out, money has been in the top three stressors for Americans for the last however many years, 15 years or whatever it is. Money and money stress is baked into our lives. We need professionals that can help us with that in emotionally intelligent ways, and not just people telling us, do this, do that, and then all your problems will be solved. Like, that's not how it works in our day to day. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I can go on for a long time about
No,
this.
I mean, you're speaking, frankly, my love language because it is so much more than a spreadsheet or, we talk a lot about financial planning software, and that stuff is really important to help you make good decisions. But understanding the why behind those decisions and then connecting it to what you're ultimately looking to accomplish in life. And I say this to clients all the time. Money is to some degree a means to an end, but it's really about what do you want that end to be like, and how do you use it effectively to ultimately live the life you desire. And yes, the financial components are a big piece of helping you to get there if you understand it the right way. So that's really, really well said. All right, so last one, and then we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit more about you. So what about, you mentioned your background, but what about finances made you want that to be sort of like the specialty focus of your practice?
Yeah, as I mentioned, it really became personal for me when I was doing my own therapy. I was talking to my therapist, working through some of my own traumas and childhood experiences, and I realized just how much of my own distress came from how my parents thought about money. My parents, I love them. There's things that they didn't do well. And I remember as a kid, my dad made a pretty major financial decision without talking to my mom. He bought a four-wheeler, just a big deal.
Yeah.
I was excited because I'm an 11-year-old kid, like, hey, really cool new toy. But then I remember as I was just taking around our little cul-de-sac for the first time, I remember seeing them fighting about it. Very understandably, my mom was upset and my dad was defensive and all that. And I remember this feeling of like, I'm enjoying this thing out here and they're fighting about it. Does me enjoying this make their fighting worse? I was internalizing their conflict as a reflection of something I had to take responsibility for. I That was like a really big breakthrough for me in therapy, realizing like, whoa, I've got feelings about this. And then as I've heard other people's stories over the years about how they grew up around money, what emotions they associate with money, when they look at their money, does it reflect on their feelings of self-worth? Money is deep, man. It is some of our most core experiences in life have financial implications. And money is also something we touch every day. Even if you don't spend money in a day, you probably go to work. You probably think about money. You probably think about different things. Like this is, I think, some of the most core human experiences money has a window into. If life is on the other side, how we live our financial life is a window to that. And that's something we need to explore and honor. It's like, yeah, this is when I ask if I'm a financial planner and I ask you like tell me about your budget or show me what's going on with your finances, essentially asking you to be naked, vulnerable. It's and I respect that. I respect that work for how what we're asking clients to do and hopefully that they can get to the place that they want to get to.
That was powerful, man. Well said. Well said. All right, we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to focus a little bit on Nate now. So this is what we call the lightning round. All right. So our
Okay.
guests know that we never prep anyone with this because we want it to be super organic and natural. And all we want you to do is just give us the first thoughts that come to your mind. It could be a one-word answer. It could be it could be an expanded thought. All right. Coffee or tea? Okay. I got some tea right now myself. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay, me too. What is one tool or piece of technology other than your phone or your computer that you can't live without? Could be hardware or software, by the way.
Nah. Video games. I'm a big video game nerd. I love that.
All right, what kind of games do you play?
I play RPGs, so like Final Fantasy. I love
Okay,
games that are like stories. I love
got it.
feeling like I'm in a book.
Got it. Got it. All right, do you have a favorite quote about money or success?
Shame is the enemy of change.
Love that. Love that. Do you have a favorite book on business, finance, money, any of them?
Yes, the Financial Anxiety Workbook by Lindsay Bryan Podvin. It's a workbook, but it is the book that comes closest to how I think about money and how I would go through a treatment plan with someone who's having anxiety around money.
Very cool. I'm going to check that one out. I haven't heard of that, so I'm going to check that one out. Very good. Do you have a personal finance hack that you can share with our audience?
It's a simple one, but it's at the grocery store. Look at your price per ounce. Don't just look at the total price, because the
Ooh,
price per ounce is going to be the thing that tells you what's the bang for the buck
there you
that
go.
I'm getting.
I love that. I love that. Good one. What's one bucket list item that you've already accomplished? Something you've already checked off the bucket list?
Starting the Financial Therapy Clinical Institute. That's something I wanted to do for as soon as I got into the field. Like I want something that's collaborative where I work with financial counselors and planners, and we're all working together. And it's been really cool to open that.
Good for you. That's awesome. What's one financial milestone that you're working towards?
Recovering from buying a home. We just bought our first home, which is super exciting.
Congrats.
And homes are expensive, man. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
just, we saved up for the down payment and all that. But now it's like, okay, I want to feel normal again. I don't want to put that much money into one single thing for a while.
There you go. Good for you. What's one financial mistake that you've seen turn into a valuable lesson? You're muted.
Sorry, my dog started barking.
All good. We love it.
You can leave this in or cut it.
We keep it live and organic. We love it.
Okay. Can you ask the question again?
Yeah. What's one financial mistake that you've seen turn into a valuable lesson?
My own impulsivity with games and buying games, and then it being like, I don't have my personal money for a few months now because I've bought too much.
There you go. Right. And if you could give one piece of advice, whether it be financial or otherwise, to your younger self, what would it be?
Just be compassionate. Give yourself the grace and kindness that you would give anybody else around this thing. Because you didn't get any education or exposure around it. Most of us didn't. Just find a little bit more compassion.
I love that. I love that. And then finally, Nate, if our listeners want to connect with you, collaborate, see what you do, potentially work with you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
You can go to the financialtherapyclinicalinstitute.com or
Cool.
just search for Nathan Astle. Nathan Astle, financial therapist. There's another Nathan Astle that's a famous cricket player in New Zealand. But
Okay.
no, yeah.
That's not you.
But
That's not you.
that's not me. I wish it was, but yeah.
All right, very good. Nate, this has been great. Thanks so much for sharing your time and your insights today. That's it for episode number 15. Thanks for all of our listeners for joining. And as always, keep your strategy sharp, your goals clear, and your money working as hard as you do. Cheers.